Welcome to iPen Podcast, Interviews and Conversations. Here we bring entrepreneurs and their business to their audience and communities as well as ours. We welcome and connect with them to share who they are and what they do. Authors, entrepreneurs, we extend the invitation to promote your business here on our podcast and in iPen Magazine. Your article, your story, your promotions, how you can connect with others, a new audience, a quarterly magazine presented online for all to view and subscribe to. For articles, ads, and subscriptions, please contact ipendesigns@gmail.com. For your viewing, you can see past articles, past interviews on www.nanetteMbuchanan.com. Welcome to the show. Good evening, good evening, good evening. My name is Nanette Buchanan, and I am one of the hosts for iPen Vision's Interviews and Conversations. And I want to welcome all of you if you've come to this special edition of our program, because tonight we're not interviewing authors or entrepreneurs or business folks. We're talking to people that have an interest in mental health, self-care. Being selfish ain't self-awareness. Self-awareness may include being a little selfish. So we want you to understand that it's not selfish at all if you need some time to yourself. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to go in deep with that, because a lot of times we don't understand that sometimes our hibernation is crucial to our health. So with that being said, I have to bring on my partner in crime, because this is a crime, because sometimes I just goof up and I just do things the way I want to do them. And she kind of taps my hand from behind the screen and says, hey, we can't do that. This is not professional. So I have to bring her on because she has the shovel to bury all of my dirt. Thank you for being a part of my background and keeping me healthy. Felice, come on up, baby. How are you?
Hey,
How are you?
that introduction was like, boy, I have such a boring job. Because
well, you know what though? The thing about it is, I think that this is a outside of your job. Where this might be boring, but the other stuff that you do, trying to make sure that other people's stuff is right, is that's kind of, when you're jumping from careers to careers to careers, and you're telling people, hey, you might want to change this, hey, you might want to invest in this, hey, you might want to get this. That's a big thing when you're dealing with clients. You're not dealing with just one particular business, you're dealing with clients. So that's kind of rough. I don't think I could deal with all of those people. I would need self-care and wellness if I had to deal with.
Saying it's boring in the light of how many mess ups do you really do?
Yeah, I try not to, right?
Well, I try not. You do a good job of it. So therefore, my job is easy and light.
I try not to. It's just
merely, hey, did we think about this? Or hey, did we?
Yeah.
That's really it. So I'm so happy to see you once again on our show.
Yes.
I am so happy that I finally had to be with you in person. People don't know this, that, we've been doing this
a while and had never, ever, for the audience's sake, we did the cancer event on July 20th. And that was the first time in over 4 years that we actually got to meet each other. Right, we've been working online for that amount of time together and never met in person. So that's something to be, blessed. It's a blessing.
And here's a little secret, audience. She's better in person.
Yes, I was really, really, really happy to be able to embrace and give her that love and hug that we sometimes need in this arena as well, because we're going to talk to two ladies that I've known, good Lord, I don't even years. I don't even want to say that, but I have been in their company before. So I'm going to bring to the stage both of our guests, but we're going to bring them up one by one. One was Miss Geisha. Geisha is back. She was with us for the Black History Month, and we got some great reviews from that first time we did a special. That was our very first special, and she came on for Black History Month, and we talked about women in Black history. We talked about all the Black history moments and everything else. So if you guys have not seen it, go to my YouTube channel and look up that Black History Month program. It was really, really good. As you know, we have no control over how long we go, but we do go as long as the conversation is good. And that was a great show. So I want to bring Geisha to the stage first. Hey, Geish, how are
Hey,
you?
y'all.
How
I'm
are you?
great.
How
I
you
am
doing this
great.
evening? You doing good?
Uh, of course I am.
And what are you
I mean,
what just tell me, what are you looking forward to in this
um,
episode?
in this conversation, I think that self-care is a dialogue that most people don't talk about. I think it's taboo, just like therapy. I think that I'm happy to discuss where where people don't have boundaries and how we have to be able to take care of ourselves so that we could take care of others.
And
Um,
and that's important. The thing about it is we sometimes think we could do it all and don't realize we need it ourselves.
I'm not every woman. It's not all in me. I'm not. I am not every woman. It is not all in me.
When you mean to tell me
Listen.
you're
I
not
don't
that
have
you're
no,
not that
ma'am. No,
superwoman?
ma'am. No,
You're not that
ma'am.
superwoman?
I'm not a superwoman.
Okay.
I'm not every woman.
Okay.
It's not all in me. I am very much in my soft era,
Okay.
and I am practicing self-care. I have many boundaries. It's like a shield. I love it. You know, I'm in my, I'm just gonna take a nap stage. When you do the church finger and bow out. That's where I'm at in my life. I'm
I
bowing out
love it.
gracefully. I am and I enjoy every bit of not doing.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We appreciate the fact that you're coming on because even though you say you're not that superwoman, you've been a superwoman in my life, and that's what matters. So we want to make sure that everybody understands when I'm mentally imbalanced, you have been the one to say, hey, you're teetering. Go back, back
But
up.
it's because I tell you you're doing too much.
Mhm.
Here we
Dial
go.
it back
You're
Yeah.
another
because
police. Hush,
where
hush.
I'm not,
Never mind.
I'm not gonna be there with you. So you need to come on back.
Yeah,
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm at.
yeah,
So we go. How many oars do we need in this boat? Let's pull some in.
Yeah.
We're not getting ready. Listen, we're no. It's moving too fast. I'm tired. I like naps, and you like to go with no naps. Naps, no.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna bring on to the stage another woman that likes to go with no maps. She
That's
goes
right.
There's
she
gonna be
goes
a balance here.
from the east to the west to the north to the south, and she says,
Mhm.
"Hey, I'm bringing you this. What you think?" And of course, I attach to it like glue. Hey, let's go. What we gonna do? How we gonna do this? I met her years ago, before I even got into corrections. We were doing things, and that's where I met her. I want to bring to the stage Miss Marsha Sneed Williams. Welcome her to the stage. Hey, lady. Hey, lady. How are you?
Yay.
Good evening. Oh, good evening. Good evening. I am so glad that you all did the songs, because I was gonna come and say, like, I'm not your superwoman, but I don't want to
At
embarrass
all.
my kids, you
Thank
know.
you for joining me in this protest. We're not doing that.
Right.
Count me
No.
out.
But you know what? If I want to sing, I can. I'm not your superwoman
Yes.
at all. But I had to learn that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I had to learn that.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy. I'm happy and I'm honored to be on the show. And then, yes, we did meet years ago. We connected. And Geisha, I met you last week and you already changed my life.
Right. And see that's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And just to let the
Mhm.
audience know, you have to have people in your life. And I said this in a post, I think it was yesterday or today on my Facebook page. You have to have people in your life that if you pick the phone up and you just need to hear a voice that will calm your inners,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
have to have someone that will answer and also ask, do
Yeah.
you need more?
Absolutely.
You have to
Absolutely.
have that. I had a friend from, again, over 20 some odd years. She said, hey, I'm in Fayetteville. I can't leave Fayetteville without stopping by and getting a hug.
Mm.
Yeah.
We have not seen each other in a good 10, 15 years.
Because that's
Mm-hmm.
love. That's
Now
love.
we talk to each other every now and then because we do the Facebook thing. Hey girl, how you doing? You know, that kind of thing. But the idea is that anywhere, anytime, you need someone to be able to connect to you in a way that
Mm-hmm.
if you truly, truly, truly need something, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't mean finances, I don't mean, bail me out of jail. I ain't talking about none of that stuff. I'm talking about someone just saying, I'm there for you to talk you down off the ceiling
Yeah.
because it seems
Ground
like
you
you're
to
clawing
keep
the
you
ceiling.
grounded.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. Yeah. You need
yeah,
that.
so I appreciate each of you because that cancer event was a big event to put together, a big event to do and handle. And y'all kept me from going up the wall.
Yeah.
You kept me from going up that wall. So each of you, I sincerely send love, nothing but it. But let's talk about where this I don't even know if I could say it's generational. I think it's
It is.
overall. I think it's an overall blanket that each generation had their own way of not being able or not understanding the importance of self-care. I think each generation, our parents, our grandparents,
Mm-hmm.
prior to that, no one really knew, and it's a new thing now. We talk about mental wellness now, and we talk about different things. And I can remember the psychiatric hospitals that they used to have years ago, where if you really had a mental imbalance, and it could have been simple as just anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
they would automatically give you meds, but they would put you in a mental institution for some time. So I think that what a lot of people go through is just knowing who they are, their identity.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I just feel that is a bigger part of where you're going.
Right.
How do I know I'm sick if I don't even know who I am?
Right. Well, and you're so right with that, Nanette, your identity, because we 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 get identified in various ways, right? But then how do we identify? And then a lot of times it is through something else or society, or again, whether you're the mother, whether you're the auntie, whether you're the quote unquote caretaker. That's, there's a lot of identities that we put on ourselves, or we identify into society, but we never look deeply into ourselves and find our authentic identity.
Yeah.
I'm
Um,
going to go draw it back to what I said in the last podcast. I think that um, it's about unlearning
mhm,
because our identities are constantly evolving.
mhm,
So first you're the child, you know,
mhm,
then you're the mother, wife, caregiver,
mhm,
whatever your job thing is.
mhm,
And then once you've cared for these things, hopefully you care for yourself some way
mhm,
throughout that. But then
mhm,
you have to unlearn
mhm.
those things and get back to the infant stage, which is I, me, mine,
Yes.
and
That's why. Mhm.
Yeah.
without bias.
Yeah.
You have to be there without bias or guilt,
Mhm,
because a lot of us feel guilty for
mhm.
finishing the race before others.
Yeah.
And when we are able to take a breath or a breather and
Mhm,
we're not working, but our friends are working, our parents, our cousins, our kids, everybody's rushing past.
mhm,
Um, we sometimes attach our identity to who we were,
Yeah.
not who we are now.
Yeah.
And I think it's about unlearning those things
Mhm.
and trying to get grounded and being content and happy with not just that you're not there, but look at all I have done. You got
Yeah.
to learn how to pat yourself on the back, have your glass of coffee or tea or
Mhm.
whatever it is, and put your feet up,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
now it's time to get back to self care and get back to yourself. And it's
Yeah.
okay to say no.
I think as women that, and I'm going to look at it from a woman's perspective because I'm a woman. We don't recognize, and even in our community, especially our Black communities, mental health in general. You have to
Mhm.
either be ready to go to a mental hospital, or you have to be just like to the point where you're either strung out on drugs, you're doing something else. Mental health is everyday care of ourselves.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, you have to. I had to learn that mental health wasn't separate from who I was as a person. I'm a
Mhm.
Sure.
whole person, you know. And as a woman, and as my lifestyle was, I'm a caretaker.
Mhm.
But I forgot
Yeah.
who takes care of the caretaker,
Yeah.
right? Who takes
Right.
care of the caretaker? So I mean, I remember, as I always say, I had post traumatic stress disorder from being a mother and a woman.
Mhm.
Woo.
Mhm.
As a mother, how many times
Yeah.
have you died? How many times as a mother,
Oh my God.
you
Yeah.
know, that's number one. How many times, just even navigating your way through your young years, the things that have
Uh,
happened to you, the parenting that you received or didn't receive, whatever. That all attributes to how we generate and how we build mental health or the understanding of our mental health or the
Mhm.
lack of
yeah.
understanding. I'm sorry, the lack of understanding of our mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we got
Well,
to take the stigma off of it as well,
yeah,
Exactly.
because,
yeah. And
yeah,
we have to understand too in that identity in all of us identifying who we are, we also have to put in perspective how much of it we can acquire. Sometimes we want to overachieve.
Yeah.
We want to overdo our parenting. We want to overdo our workload. We want to do more than.
Mhm.
And the strength that we have just will not allow us to be like we said, we're not the super women. We're not, come on, put the cape down a minute. You
Mhm.
know, if we need to
Yeah.
pick that cape up for a particular situation, we
Mhm.
know where the cape is,
Right.
but we can't wear that cape 24 hours a day, 7 days a week and expect not to have to sit down.
No.
Right.
No,
You know,
sure.
we have to
maybe,
be able
maybe,
to refresh that energy and create some type of balance.
Mhm.
When we look at the different things that we have to do.
Mhm.
Okay, we have
Mm.
to take care of home, we have to take care of self, we have to take care of jobs, we have to have a balance
Mhm.
of some sort to make sure that things, as they say, the woman runs the home. Men even say it all the time: happy wife, happy life.
Mhm.
Why do they say that?
Mhm.
Because if the wife is content in her balance, and it may be an overflow, but if she's content, I ain't stepping in it.
Mhm.
mhm.
She's
Yeah.
happy, I'm happy.
If she doesn't
Mhm.
complain, if you don't complain,
Because
you
she
don't
doesn't
make any
complain, she
waves, you
doesn't
make it
say
happen.
anything. He may not even know that she's imbalanced
Right.
because she's been walking around just like
Mhm.
everything is normal.
Yeah.
And we're good at masking the things that we
Mhm.
need.
Yeah.
We're good at masking the fact that we don't have, or
Right.
we're good at masking the fact that we want to do more, or we
Mhm.
want to be involved. We're good at that.
Mhm.
I mean, we just believe that being strong means pushing yourself beyond reason. You keep going, you can make it happen, you force it, you push it, and either you're going to willingly sit down or you're gonna be sat down.
Right. Yeah.
Such is my life.
The
I remember.
strongest person in the room is the person that knows how to ask for help, though.
Right.
Mhm.
And sometimes
Because as women, we don't ask for help. We don't,
Right.
because
because we are used to so many people asking us for help that we refuse to take help. And then how will I look to
Mhm.
my peers if I say I need help?
Right.
But that's the strongest person in the room,
Mhm.
because they're fighting unseen battles
Right.
all the way around
Yeah.
with How will my children look at me? How will my parents look at me? How will my spouse look at me? How would, how does work look at me if I say I need a stress leave?
Sure.
Are they
Sure.
going to think I'm crazy because I can't handle my stress? I think the person who says this is too much stress, I'm out, is the strongest person in the room.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get back to you when I can better deal with what's happening with me.
Right.
Because even on an airplane, they say save yourself.
Exactly.
Right.
You know,
And
I
how do you again, not in the strength of it all, but in the strength of it all, just step away because we tend to be so connected to the things that we do that, I agree with you. The strongest person is the one that says, look, instead of putting this facade on saying, I've got my superwoman cape on, I'm the hero of everything in my life, whether it's work, whether it's your home life, whether it's your community or whatnot. But to really understand that your mindset is that you're not failing. It's just that you are as important or more so important than the job, than the mothering, than the wifing, than the community activist, than the whatever. Because again, we tend to not put all of those things in front of us, and they're piled on us, and it's the weight that we carry, so we're buried under all of those things. We just bury ourselves, and we truly bury ourselves alive, to the point that we have to even have this discussion about it's okay to, in fact, we've done it wrong to not have advocated for ourselves as much as we do for our lives and the people that are in our life, in the
Mhm.
responsibilities that we've taken on. So,
Well, Erica Badu said, "Bag lady, you gonna hurt your back
yeah,
carrying all those bags like that." And when
That's
she
right.
had said that years ago, I said, "You know what? You are right."
right,
Okay.
exactly
I
right,
said,
and
"Girl, how
it's
you
also important,
know?"
right.
I
it's
said,
important.
"Girl."
Not to
Mhm.
let the job or the family or the what deter us from being, for having that self importance, that self care that we freely give to everyone else, that they have come to depend on that, but we rarely give it to ourselves,
Hmm.
um, and then make it to where it is really a priority. It shouldn't be, um, oh, she's broke down and now she's in this spot. And to the discredit of our society and our family and the community, we rarely stop and say, are you okay? And not only are you okay, that's not even the question. How are you taking care of yourself? Or go take care of yourself. You know, it should be, part of the, I don't know, part of the everyday thing that you're doing is that, no, wait. Where are you in this? Where
But
are
you
you?
know what though? I think we're so used to talking to people
Hmm.
and saying, how you doing? Oh, I'm good.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Answering people, oh, I'm blessed.
Hmm.
But may I
Oh,
say that comes from not having safe spaces.
Right.
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
just like you began, when you began, the podcast today, talking about the connection that you have, to having
Hmm.
that person to call
Hmm.
5 o'clock in the morning, or whatever time that you need them, that's not going to judge you.
Hmm.
Yeah, the strongest person is the person that can step away. But when you're not strong, it's important to have that hand,
Hmm.
Right.
person that
Right.
can step forward. So I think with all of this, and us learning to create safe spaces for each other,
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Right.
can say I gotta give kudos to Nan. Like, I called her the other day, and when she answered the phone, she said, "So if she doesn't answer the phone, she'll text back, 'Hey, I'm gonna call you back,' and she literally calls back, right?" I am notorious for not. However, I
we love
must
you,
say
man.
that um, she provides a safe space for my madness.
Hmm.
So when I was calling her the other day, I was only calling her to say thank you for
Hmm.
managing my madness,
Yeah.
you know, and I I think that having accountability partners, and I don't mean accountability in everything else that we're doing, but having an accountability partner for someone who knows that if they don't hear from you,
Mm-hmm.
something is wrong.
Sure.
I will give it a couple of days. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that she know that if I don't call, I'm managing my madness.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I get out of it, I'm gonna call and say, "Whoo, girl, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Right,
here's
Right.
what happened. You
Right.
ain't gonna believe this."
Mm-hmm.
But it's because um, we know that sometimes you do need space, right, to regroup. And but we also know that we can't allow each other to stay in the rabbit hole that long.
exactly,
Right.
So
exactly.
if I don't come out within a certain amount of time,
You have to
Mm-hmm.
come
she's
in
on
after
the
me.
phone.
And you
Yeah.
love me enough to come in
She's
after me.
coming to get me out of there.
Yeah.
She's coming to get me out of there.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I like the fact that I'm not always correct with her. I like the fact that I got people that's gonna hold my feet to the fire,
Yeah.
you know, and get me together when I can't get myself together.
Yeah.
And I think that is where the balance is
Mm-hmm.
found, is in having friends that are not always agreeable with you,
Exactly.
that will call you to, you know, pull you to the carpet
Mm-hmm.
and let you know um when you need someone to say, hey, you're not crazy and this is okay.
Sorry.
You're right in your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your feelings are valid. You
Mm-hmm.
And I
gotta
want to add
have
something, Geisha.
people
You
around
you work hard. You know, you really do, and it's so amazing. When I met you ladies the other weekend, it was my first time. You know, and what made me feel really comfortable was that I have always cultivated around myself a peaceful space, a
you.
divine circle. And at my age, making new friends, sometimes you just don't know what you want to do, you know? But I do
Right.
know when you feel an energy, you know? And I think that many people don't have that safe
Mm-hmm.
space.
Yeah.
And I think it's important now moving forward, and especially with our wellness incentive,
Yeah.
Yeah.
living better, loving better, laughing more. With that in mind,
Yeah.
we can take these conversations and create safe space for women. Not
Yeah.
everybody has that, you know.
Right.
I remember when I was going through. In the last couple of years, I went through I call it a unwanted sabbatical. I had a medical emergency, medical, mental, whatever you want to call it. It was medical at first, but and I had to regroup. And if it were
Mm.
not for, I have an amazing friend. I'm gonna shout her out, Asia. We talk morning, noon, and night.
Mm-hmm.
Morning, I don't care what time it was, crying, boohoo, snot, 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it was like, I don't know what I would have done had I not had that person in my life,
Yeah.
in the circle of
Mhm.
women in my life
Mm-hmm.
that I
Mhm.
was able to reach out and lean on and talk to. And they got to see my ugly stuff.
Right.
Well, I
It
think
wasn't on
I
social
think
media, you know?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think part of what we're saying is that it takes a certain amount of courage
Mm-hmm.
to be able to open up, and you can't open up to everybody. You
Right.
know,
And ugly cry. You gotta have your friends that it's
yeah,
okay to ugly cry with.
you gotta have that
you
courage
know,
to
you
be
gotta
able.
have good friends.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, you got to have that courage to be able to say, I don't care what anybody thinks.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I am.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
And,
those that want to battle where I
mm-hmm.
am,
Yeah.
bring me something to help me get out of it.
Exactly.
If you
Exactly.
Oh
can't bring
yes.
me something to get out of it or help
Mm-hmm.
me ride through it
Mm-hmm.
or hold me up because I can't stand,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I got enough courage to tell you walk away.
Right. And
Yeah.
because you need somebody when you're going through those dark nights of the soul or whatever they want to
Mm-hmm.
call them.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma used to call them life. We have
Yeah.
Yeah,
names
life be
now
lifing. Life
that
be
we attach
lifing.
to everything, and which is fine. But
Mm-hmm.
when you're going through that time, when you are experiencing it, I don't care how strong you think you are. I was the strong one. I know I'm the strong one,
Yeah.
because I
Mm-hmm.
survived it. But
Yeah.
when you're in it, you can't be. Sometimes you just can't be strong by yourself.
And not
Right.
only that, you can't be to the point where, like Geisha was saying, she and I used to talk all the time on the job.
You should
not
say
only
healer.
about the job stuff. You know, like today I just ain't feeling it. You know,
Sure.
today I'm just not here. You
Yeah,
know,
Yeah.
I got
It
this
was
going
plenty of
on,
days
that
I went to
going on.
work and I wasn't at work.
I'm just
I
not
mean,
feeling it. I'm
absolutely,
just not feeling it. And
absolutely.
to sit in the middle of it and say I'm not feeling it, but I'm here because I got responsibilities. I'm
Right.
here because I
mhm.
got to do this.
Sure.
I'm mothering because I don't have a husband at home. You
Hmm.
know, I'm dealing with my mom who's sick. I'm
Hmm.
dealing with, you know, the fact that I'm working and in school.
Hmm.
You know, whatever it is that's overwhelming,
Hmm.
it's got to come out as well.
And I think too, then that society makes it uh, just an evil thing to be sick.
Right.
You can't call off
Right,
on your job without
Hmm.
right.
being suspect. You can't
Hmm.
even tell your friend you're sick without either judgment, pity, or oh girl, you
Right,
shouldn't get
right.
any.
And
You
and
should have
and
slept
then
with
not
him. You
and not
know
only that, the competitiveness. If I'm
Right.
sick
exactly,
at the job, somebody else is looking for my job.
Yeah.
You
exactly,
know, so I,
exactly.
I got to have enough courage to know that I have someone that I can talk to
Hmm.
be my extra stability as I go through whatever I'm going through.
Exactly.
Right.
Whatever I need to go through, I need to
Hmm.
be able to go through it, because in the midst of having that courage, I have to untangle my emotions.
Right.
Right, right.
But in
And I,
in
Well,
that too, I you know, we need to normalize. You know, we talked about identity in the beginning, but we need to normalize if what would I be without this, or who would I be without this
Mm-hmm.
job? Who would I be without, you know, the responsibility of my children or my home?
Mm-hmm.
Because again, that gets
right.
down to the core of who you are, right? Because all of those things are an extension of who you are.
Yes,
The core
yes.
of who you are, you need to normalize, not to, you know, discount those things as not important, because they are, but to understand who you are. It's stripped away from all of the things, who I am in the core of me. And we need to
Mm-hmm.
normalize that, because again, that's how all these things have become more important than our true self.
Right. And understand that not everyone is going to agree with your emotions.
Right.
But I
Because
want to say this.
there's sometimes when
But
you present
emotions
your,
aren't facts, though. You got to
they
But
are.
remember.
Sometimes when
but the issue is
you present that emotion to me, and this is just an example. You present an emotion to me, and you're breaking, and I can see you breaking, and I can see you doing this, but I got to unravel that,
Hmm.
because within that emotion, you may have caused your own turbulence.
Of course.
You may have overlooked some of the things that you should have avoided, some of the things that you could have avoided, some of the things that you could have unraveled, because life be life, and then some of that you can't unravel. Some of
exactly.
but
that you
here's the
can't.
problem though, Nan. Here's the problem. Every single one of us sitting on this panel is a quote unquote strong woman.
Hmm.
I can guarantee you that we can all name at least four people right off the top of our head that calls us weekly with a problem.
Hmm.
It is not those people that are unloading.
Hmm.
It's us, the
Yeah.
ones of us that are taking that. When
Hmm.
we talk about self-care and
Hmm.
boundaries, when I say I'm not your superwoman, and I mean it. When I first met them, they said, what do you do? I don't do anything. I could
Hmm.
teach you how to do nothing. I'm the best doing of nothing ever that you're ever gonna meet, right?
Hmm.
But what what I do is tell everybody, yeah, no, we're probably not gonna do that. I'm notorious for saying I'm not doing it if it's going to cost me my peace or my
Setting
patience.
boundaries.
Yeah.
I'm not
Exactly.
doing it. And,
Right.
and if I don't want to, I'm probably not going to do that either.
Yeah.
But I don't make it a habit of dumping on people that I love.
Right.
And what I mean is, while I'm jumbled up on the inside, I
Hmm.
don't want
Mhm.
to I don't want to call Nan or call you guys up and say, "Hey, this is just messed up. It's crappy. The world sucks." And
Hmm.
this is how I'm feeling, because that type of energy, bringing it to your doorstep and not taking into account that we are all strong women, so we all have our own things, is not fair. It's
And,
not
and that's what
fair.
I mean by untangling the emotions, that we have to learn how to sit in it and untangle the emotions first. Because when I presented to you for help, I've already laid out the emotional things and said, I need to move. So if I need to move from this, I can't call you up and say, well, she said this and he said that and he did this. And I'm still emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No.
Because
What solution have you come to? Are
Right.
you willing to leave that job?
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Are you looking for another job?
Right.
How are you going to pay this bill?
Mm-hmm.
Did you look at this bill? And are you willing not to run this bill up again?
Right.
Sure.
What are you doing to correct your credit? What are you doing to correct your child who's
Mm-hmm.
been having you leave your job early every day because they're
Mm-hmm.
cutting up in school?
Yeah.
You have to unravel the problem
Mm-hmm.
before
Right.
you can even get the self-care,
Yeah.
because you, after you finish unraveling it, you got all of this mustered up. I'm frustrated, I need anxiety, I got stress, I got everything else, and the only way I can do that is if I step on those emotions immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Get those
and can
emotions in line.
I had to learn that. I'm Superwoman. Yeah, you know that you've been trying to be a superwoman
Mm-hmm.
when your cape is ripped off your back.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to have to wait until it's ripped off your back. But who takes care of the caretaker? Who nurtures the nurturer? Who motivates the motivator?
Mm-hmm.
And like you said,
Mm-hmm.
and you may say they come to you. You said 5 or 4 calls a day.
Mm-hmm.
Through my entire, I say my illness in the last 2 years, the
Mm-hmm.
calls never stopped.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
matter what I tried to say I was going through, the calls never stopped. But guess what? Me, I had to learn that I had to stop answering.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Boom.
That
That's
part.
it.
Almost,
That's
almost
it.
took
That's
myself
it.
That
out.
part. Because
I,
we've been talking about how strong we are.
right.
Strong.
I felt
But
that I had to answer, and I'm still learning that there's
No,
certain things I
ma'am.
don't have to answer.
right.
It's
Right.
not
No,
my money, it's not
ma'am.
my
But just
circuit.
just like Superman in his strength, there was kryptonite that we can
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Well,
and
not only
so
that, the thing about it is we talked about taking the cape off, with
mm-hmm,
the cape being ripped
mm-hmm,
off. There's times when your cape is tattered and torn.
sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be off completely,
Right.
because you've been hit with kryptonite balls.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then you get a kryptonite ball that gets thrown, and all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden you got this hole in your cape.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
Now
like,
I got to mend my cape before I can help somebody else. But
right.
nobody thinks that my cape is ever needs mending.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's looking at the fact that I need a moment. I need a
Right.
moment to de-stress and to,
Mhm.
to come out of it. But I always tell someone that comes to me, let's get to the bottom of the real deal here. Stop giving me the top layer of what the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the real deal. If you know that
What's
this is
your
the
why?
problem, why have you not stepped in to figure out how I'm going to deal with this on the lower level? Because if you take out the bottom of anything, it's going to be a hole in it and it ain't going to be able to stand. You got
Exactly.
to cut it off at the bottom. Be
Yeah,
able
and
to
what
do
I
that.
think you're saying in that too is that we take on that role of super person. And again, if someone is identifying us as that, and then we take on the assignment, first of all, we need to stop because we need to
Mm-hmm.
mimic the behavior that we're trying to get from them. If we're trying
Mm-hmm.
to make them own whatever there is as opposed to put it on me or just hook arms with me and say, come with me down this rabbit hole. Um, we in our strength, in true strength for ourselves, because that's what I think I keep getting back to is that we can be strong for everyone else, and it does weigh us down. It does, but are we strong for ourselves?
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
as we're advocating for ourselves, then those emotions are there. And I think the emotions, first of all, emotions are not fact. But second of all, if you are in a emotional state about something, that's your first clue that something's not right.
Right.
It's
Right.
your first clue that something is not
Right.
right when all you can see are the emotions of it all. And you're triggered by emotions because And we are gifted. It is our gift to have empathy and emotions. We as females, cry easier than males, and we feel things. And it is by God's design, because we have carried, and our body is designed to carry a person inside of our bodies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're designed for that, right? So we're designed for caring and nurturing and growing in care. I did say caring already, but that is our design. As a woman, that is our design.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not so much that we need to totally go away from what we were designed, but we need to be good stewards of the design. And that means, again, if you don't take care of your body and nourish it the right way as you're pregnant and growing a baby, then that baby is not going to come out strong and healthy. So that truly is a responsibility of you.
You're absolutely right.
And if you intend to have more children, it's going to be so much harder to do if you don't care for your body, right? So we need to understand that, but understand it in a much bigger way than the focus being on the baby. The focus needs to be on us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I like to add that yes, we are designed to be nurturing and loving and caring and all these things, these beautiful hormones and things God put in us.
Mm-hmm.
The sad part is, by society, we are groomed
Yes.
to be doormats.
Yes.
Honestly, we're
Yes.
groomed to, and they're not just
I
doormats.
am so glad you said that,
Mm-hmm.
because here's
I love being a girl. I just don't
my
want to be doing all this
unpopular
running
opinion is
distance.
this, right? And I hate to I hate to do like history lesson slash my opinion. But here's the thing. As Black women, if it is true that we take care of the Black man, right? But it is also true that Black men were thought of as 1/3 a person.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But they never said anything about the woman, then we are 10 times less than the rest of them. However, we are the prototype. So we are expected to work,
Mm-hmm.
to run a household,
Mm-hmm.
to keep the household clean, to be the wife, to be the lover, to be the this, to be the that, you the therapist, you all of that,
Mm-hmm.
the chef, without direction and without care.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for us to get back, that's why I said it's about unlearning,
Yeah.
because I can't keep looking at social media and going, wow, her life is great. But all I'm seeing is the scissor reel.
Right.
I don't know what's happening out of the
Right?
around
Right?
there, right? So the thought about not coveting something else is because you don't know
Mm-hmm.
everything else that's happened.
Right.
You don't know how I got here. You
Mm-hmm.
don't know how many times I failed.
Yeah.
So we have to not be because we are all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
We have to try you have to try to carve out a space where you can get back to yourself.
Right.
And when you're untangling the emotions,
Mm-hmm.
you need accountability partners, somebody that's going to tap you on your shoulder and say, don't feel guilty. Like I said to her, don't feel guilty for not doing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into the enjoying
Mm-hmm.
the coffee in the morning.
Right.
I go buy plants because angry people aren't there.
Right?
I love it. I love it. But and again, I feel if we could take it one step further of when you are, going through a situation or whatever, you're going through that, and take it one step further and start advocating for, the self-care. Let's celebrate and promote self-care before we even get into a situation, right?
Right.
For sure.
For sure. And the thing we have to,
First, on a regular basis, we're filling our cups first, and that goes without saying.
And
And
not
yes,
only
those
that,
times are gonna come. Those times are gonna come where
we gotta
we have
look
to
at
make
it
those
as
sacrifices.
Marcia said earlier too,
Mhm,
that um life life is gonna bring trauma.
mhm,
Life is gonna be chaotic. It's
yeah,
gonna bring chaos.
mhm,
Life is gonna give you fears, and you're gonna always be attached to your memories.
right,
Mhm.
Whether you had the best childhood, whether
mhm,
you had the best way of life, you had a great job,
mhm,
whether you traveled the world,
mhm,
whether you had no problems in your marriage, got beautiful kids, at some point you're gonna get hit.
yeah,
And just because you have not had an experience in any of that, you're gonna have that trauma.
Yep.
mhm,
Mhm.
Because now you don't even know the balance of how do I deal with this.
mhm,
I
And
mean, if we think about people the very first time they've ever had death in the family,
mhm,
Sure.
if they've never dealt with death,
mhm,
regardless to what the reason for the death is, they
yeah,
go through trauma.
yeah,
It's a
Sure.
shock to the system when
yeah,
you don't know anything about a chaotic roller coaster ride
mhm,
or the fears or the memories or the trauma. No, I didn't have a single parent home. I was
mhm,
raised in a two-parent home.
yeah,
I didn't live in the projects in Newark. I
mhm,
lived in the weekday section. I was over there with the big wigs.
mhm.
I didn't even know I was a big wig, and I didn't think I was a
right,
big wig, but I did. I went to a Catholic school.
yeah,
Right.
I went to a semi-private high school. I
mhm,
went to Arts High.
Right.
I was there for music, and then I went to Rutgers.
mhm,
So when you look at all of that, everybody would say, "Well, wow, you had a great background and a great this and a great that, and you went on and you had a great job and you had
mhm,
this and you had that." But when trauma hits,
mhm,
you got to go back to those memories and say, "Well, why am I feeling this way?"
yeah,
And you
And you know,
remember the little things
mhm,
that didn't equate, that didn't add up. The
mhm,
nights that daddy didn't come home, or the
mhm,
nights that mama was screaming and yelling, and you didn't realize why she was screaming and yelling at you,
mhm,
or the different things that was going on in other family matters, or the fact that you find out at 17 that you do have sisters and brothers and you never met them.
mhm,
it's the
So there's
secrets that
some
make us
things
sick.
that go on with the trauma and the
mhm,
secrets and the chaos and the fears and the memories that when you go through these emotional roller coasters that you have, you get hurt.
yeah,
And because of that hurt, you don't always want to share it with other
mhm,
people or tell other people because they're looking at what they saw on the outside.
yeah,
Oh, you had a great life.
You
Oh,
know,
mhm,
and
you
like I
went through
said,
some great stuff. And they
yeah,
don't
Okay.
you know,
realize
but
that underneath you got some trauma, you got some chaos, you had some fears. You had look at all of the kids that you thought was okay, and you found out
mhm,
their parents were drunks and they were abusive and they had sexual abuse going on. You don't know what people are going through.
let me
And
say this.
all we're trying to bring here in this session is everyone needs a time for self-care.
mhm,
Everyone
Trauma,
needs a moment.
trauma is what is the number one cause of overachievers.
mhm,
Trauma,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
early
And
trauma.
I was going to
Yes.
say that every family has a little bit, every family, and I tell my kids this all the time, that all families have a certain level of dysfunction.
Yes.
sure,
Yes.
Because on paper, my
mhm,
It
kids would
looks
say this.
great.
They had a nanny. They did. And I had a maid come in. But the reason for me having that is because I could not do it alone.
mhm,
So I needed to pay someone to
sure,
come in and assist me with what I did,
mhm,
so that I could go with them places, um, which meant in hindsight, I was overworked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was overworked. To say that they were all of my children went to private school is a cool thing to say, but I was overworked.
Sure.
And I think that because I was able to watch so many women and how they moved in my family, and I could say, I don't think I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And I just didn't. I
Yeah.
go, that looks hard.
Hmm.
You know, and
That
I
looks
can
very
relate
hard.
to.
But at the same token, I know that they looked at me and said, I ain't going into no jail. She is crazy. But
Yeah.
at the same token, I looked at them and I said, man, you washing clothes, you cooking meals, you doing all. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna go over here and do my 8, and I'm gonna hit the gate, and I'm gonna have more time than you because I'm gonna pay somebody with them extra coins from
Yeah.
that job. So
Well,
it's about
that's
managing your madness.
yeah,
Right,
and that's
right.
funny because really, it seems to me that when we look at it, that's a trauma response. That's traumatic for
It is.
you. That's
Mhm.
traumatic. Oh no,
I,
I cannot. That's trauma for me. Or
It was.
yes.
It
So
seemed like they never stopped working. And to date, I love my aunts,
yeah, yeah,
but they is, oh my God, these are superhero ladies.
yeah,
They like, they just never, they stay late. They just put in extra hours.
sure,
I be sitting back like, mm.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not getting
Well, and
ready
I
to do
think
that.
because
I don't want to do none of that.
right,
And then they going home and making dinner, and I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
I don't know how many hours they got.
mhm.
But I don't feel like I got the same hours that they
Yeah,
got because I need a nap.
yeah,
And I'm younger than them, and they are doing all of the things.
sure,
All of the things.
sure.
And I just be looking at them like, yep, I'm gonna just go and water these plants.
Right.
And I'm still
Cause no.
arriving. I'm arriving at that place. I really am. I'm arriving at that place. I can relate, Nanette. If I talk about the life I want to talk about, I was most popular in high school, in every club, graduated with honors, went to college, first graduated with my family. I could tell that story. But
Mm-hmm.
there were things that happened in between the rain. I had to dance between the raindrops to get there.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Sure.
to make it look good. We're taught you're not supposed to look like you're fasting.
Yeah.
Right,
You're not supposed to don't let them never let them see you sweat.
Right.
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 And we all grew up with I can bring home the bacon, fried up and pan, blah
Yes.
blah blah. That
Yeah.
song. I
Uh-huh.
never wanted that life.
Yeah.
I
Right.
never wanted it. But like I said, I ended up marrying the man of my dreams, having wonderful children. It looked beautiful. Opened up a business, but nobody talks about the trauma.
Right.
Right.
I realized that when I finally did get sick, I've gone through this journey. I'm going to share that even more as we talk about wellness. But what I had to realize before I left my last position, I was talking and interacting with 120 people a day
Ooh.
for years. And you think about it. You were in the prison, how many people you talk to every day?
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
A
Then you had
lot.
to go out into the community and talk to people some more.
Yeah.
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 You're
Then
Yeah.
you got to
right.
go home
You're
and be
right.
nice to those people.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
you got a man you made, if you got one, what?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
after a while, and then to be a coach, the go-to person, the come-to person.
Mm-hmm.
After a while, I had to say, I'm physically not well. Well, I'm mentally, I'm always in control.
Right.
I'm the one that makes stuff happen. And when I sat there and thought about it, I'm like, you're not well. You need to let your body heal, but also you're tired.
Yeah.
You're tired.
Hmm.
This society, we're not supposed to be talking to 125 people a day. We're not supposed to be solving all those problems a day.
At all.
You know,
Exactly.
we're not supposed to work like that. So I am aspiring to really develop and engulf that whole mindset that Geisha has, that you laid the
It's
energy.
5 things. It's 5 things because it's 5 business days in a week, right?
That's right.
So on a Sunday, right? Because I ain't gonna be available for all the things. I'm not. On a Sunday, I got 5 things that I start out with, right? And
Wow.
remember, I already told y'all this was one of my things, okay? If I start out with 5 things on Monday, if I get done with one of them, because I'm not trying to do 5 things in one day. No, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
This is my expectation for the week, because even the Lord rested on Sunday. I'm
Yes.
not.
Yes.
I'm
Yep.
not doing it. I'm
Yeah.
not. Why would I? What and then like because right now I'm not at work, but I go back to work when the kids go back to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those 5 things go down to 3 things.
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm going back to work. So I only got 3 things. And this right here is already on the schedule.
Yeah.
So therefore, you got to get in where you fit in around the stuff that I already have together. And you better hope that I'm not past my 3 things. Because if I'm past my 3 things, I'm just not going to do it.
And
Because
I,
I
and
have to
that's
take
what
a
we
nap.
need.
I have
Yeah.
chosen you as my accountability partner, Geisha, in this project. You are my
Well,
accountability partner. You're gonna make me
well,
sit my butt down.
here's the other thing too. We gotta remember that things that cause us to alter who we are, like Geisha just laid out. She has the 5 things.
Mm-hmm.
You all know that I do the same thing. I write every day. Every day I write. It doesn't matter what time of the day. I don't have a time schedule,
Mm-hmm.
but every day I put in time writing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you say to me, did you write today? I did that before I did anything else, because that's a ritual that I do every day. Now, the thing about it is that sometimes we become what I called, when I was training the officers at the job, I just said, you're having a schizophrenic moment. You want to go to work and be this way. You want to go home and be this way. And then you want to go here and be this way. And then you want to go there and be this way. Around your friends, you're this way. You're schizophrenic.
Yeah.
That's the definition of schizophrenia. You have multiple personalities, and
Multiple
you're trying
personalities.
to mesh them in, and you're trying to do that. And a lot of times, depending on the job, they're expecting that.
Right.
Depending on the job that you
Yeah.
have, that's
They
the
don't care
expectation,
about you.
that you know how to act a certain way and conform to a certain compliance, and you act a certain way, and you don't bring anything of you
Right.
into the job.
Right.
Here, we're going to put you in training. We're going to show you what we want you to do, and this is how we want you to act, and you're going to go and just be that person. Now, what does that create? One of the people that was online and made a comment said a lot of times women don't want to go home, because the person that they are on the job and the person that they are in society is a whole lot different
Yeah.
than the person that they're going home to be with. Even if they're going home to be with the kids, they're going home to be with the husband, they're going home to be by themselves.
Right.
A lot of times that inside job
Mm-hmm.
or that inside personality
Mm-hmm.
is not the same personality that they can exhibit outside.
Right.
Yes.
So they don't unfold to taking it down, which is what Geisha is talking about. Have those lighter days. When do you become you? When do you let yourself go? When do you release some of that other stuff? And when does it align with that identity that we talked about?
Right. Well,
That
and
alignment and that reset. How do
yeah,
you
and to your
align and
point,
reset if you never take it down? If you
yeah,
never
And
take
the thing
down.
is,
right.
the thing is,
Because as you said all of that, when you're at your job has no consideration for your home life.
Right.
Your home life has no consideration for your job to the extent of what you go through on a daily basis for your job. They are separate entities, and unlike what Geisha said, that she does 3 things. So you know what you're doing, the 3 things that you're doing, and or your 5 things, and that's what you can handle in a given thing. Pardon me, because none of those things have any consideration for the other. They're separate things, which is how we get into overwhelm as it is because we take on all of these things and they are separate entities for themselves, and they require specific energy to be expelled and expended.
And the thing about it is, in some of those things, like she said, when you say you got 5 things that you're doing, you're not doing 5 things on a high level. Some of those
No.
things are on a lower level. Some of those things are on no level. I'm just taking
But
it
we
down.
know how I got here. I got here because I got hurt.
Yeah.
Like I got injured on the job.
Something will sit you down.
And when I got injured on the job, that was the first time I got hurt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The first time was with my back. The second time was with my wrist, and I retired, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then because I'm not that bright, I said, "Ooh, I could do some other things.
Yeah.
Let me open up this business. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me do the other. I'm gonna do all the things
Mm-hmm.
because now I got more time to do more things."
Yeah.
And then I got hurt again.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got hurt the last time, as I was laying down and I could not move, I thought about the time before when I was laying down and I couldn't tie my shoes. And then I remember going back to work and telling Nan, this is just I could not, there would be days that I would go to work where I really couldn't stand up,
Mm.
but I had to go to work. So now I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Right. And
So
part of our
now I
alignment
remember what I
had to
promised
go
me.
through. And
I
that's a
promised
part of those
myself these things.
memories and different things that I'm saying. A part of that has to be a part of our alignment plan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
We have to align with our identity. We have to align with that plan that says, hey, you have to take it down for a certain thing. And you guys already know. A lot of people told me, well, what are you doing? You got cancer. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
That's not what my retirement alignment was.
Yeah.
And when I need to take it down, I know when to take it down.
Yeah.
But that's already because I've got things, just like Geisha said, she got 5 things she do.
Mm-hmm.
I got a schedule that I do. I told
Mm-hmm.
somebody today that called me and said, oh, you answered the phone, so you got free time today. Not for you, sir.
I'll never have, there is nothing
Not,
free
not
in my life. There's
nothing,
nothing free.
no, not for you, sir. I don't have time. I told you later this week. You call me on the phone, I answer the phone, and you say, oh, we can do this today. No, sir, you're not on my calendar today.
Okay?
You got
Yeah.
to learn
Please get on the
how to,
calendar.
right. You
Yeah.
got to learn and adjust
And
according
you
to
know what
what your,
the transparency in this conversation is, that each of us, all of us so far, has said we had to fall down, fall apart
that's right.
before we developed a system of survival
Of
for ourselves.
survival. If I'm going to survive through this cancer journey, and I'm going to survive through this retirement,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to survive with keeping this business and now making this business do what I planned it to do when I retired,
Mm-hmm.
then that means I got to set limits.
Right.
I got to set certain boundaries.
Yeah.
I got to know when to take it down. I got to know when I'm off. And if I'm too
Mm-hmm.
off, I got to know
Mm-hmm.
that I got a support team to call.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you know what?
Hey,
When I
I'm
was,
too off.
yeah,
I'm off. I don't know what it is. What do
Mm-hmm.
you think it is?
right.
And because you guys have been that at various times,
Mm-hmm.
you already know, well, you sound like you need to go to sleep. That's Geisha's favorite thing. Go take a nap. You
Because
know,
naps is important.
Mm-hmm.
she'll say that in a minute. Go
Naps are
take a nap.
great.
And
Nanette
and
does
go.
Naps
everything. That's
are
right. She does
amazing.
everything. You are
And
Superwoman,
so,
Nanette.
so right now, my reset is this. A year ago, I quit my job. And my reset is figuring out who I am without all of these things. And even to the point of, most people were like, okay, you don't have your job income, you don't have that income. And I'm like, God's going to show me a way to make a different income a different way, right? And trusting in that because, for the most of us, we're saying, don't leave that job, don't do this until you have the replacement. Well, I
Mhm.
knew for myself, for me, I'm so hyper focused that it I will run myself into the ground, staying in that place, and not really focusing on. For me, I had to let that go. My hands are clenched tight. Well, how can I receive anything new when my hands are clenched this tight, right? So I had to let that go. And several people were like, "How'd you do that? What do you?" Well, first, trusting, and then knowing that even my health is more important than that paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it, for me, it was a toxic environment, and it was very mentally draining. And I did get to that point where I was broken to say, okay, that paycheck is not more important than me.
And not only that, the way that you're saying it, just
Mm-hmm.
smothering ourselves with
Mm-hmm.
the fact of needs.
Mm-hmm.
What's more important than the need of stability?
I wanted to
What's
add
more
that.
important than the need of mental acceptance and health? What's more important than your soul being right with you, and you not getting up being angry about having to give in to something
Sure.
that's going to overwhelm you and take over? What a
Yeah.
lot of people don't understand is, and we've heard it, I mean, this is not something that we don't know, we've
Mm-hmm.
heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Blood pressure will kill
Mm-hmm.
you.
Yeah.
Anxiety and
Mm-hmm.
stress will
Yeah.
kill you.
Yes.
Mentally, you will fall. So the thing about it is, when you don't understand just what has a hold on you,
Yeah.
but when you know what it is,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stay in this, and
Mm-hmm.
I
No,
know that it's holding my anxiety, it's holding my you make my eye flicker when I talk to you.
Yeah.
There's a
right?
problem
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I got a question
You make my
for
heart palpitate.
all three of you.
You know what
I
I mean? When you see the signs and you know the signs, and I used to tell Geisha all the time,
Mm-hmm.
tell them
Mm-hmm.
as a supervisor. I would tell
Mm-hmm.
her, tell them.
Mm-hmm.
She said, not today. Now, if an inmate can understand the look of a woman saying not today,
Right.
why can't we see it for ourselves in the mirror?
Absolutely. And more importantly, going back to the trauma topic when we were talking about trauma, it really was me, my childhood trauma unresolved was contributing to that. And so again, when you have that unresolved trauma, you really end up attracting more trauma. You do.
Mm-hmm.
I
Because
have a question for you,
with
though, and this is a question for all of you. When
Mhm,
you were talking about leaving your job,
mhm.
right? When you realized that you didn't have to go back, can you think of the day where you just said, because I
So
know I can. I know,
well, so a month
and I
prior
felt
to that,
lighter.
really a month prior to my
Did you feel
resignation,
lighter?
I was planning it out to, okay, this is my day, I'm leaving, and really, again, it was about talking to myself and facing a new fear of, I'm jumping out here without any safety net, there's, and so, not even a bungee cord. But
When did you feel lighter though? Because I'm asking you that because I feel like you feel lighter.
I do,
And so,
and that's why I'm trying to tell you. The day I made the decision to, not the day that I left, but the day I
mhm,
made the decision that yes, this is where I'm
that's when you got your good, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
How did
yeah.
how did that feel?
It like I said, it feels good. Well, it feels unusual,
Uh-huh.
right? Because when and I always use this analogy of now I've never been to prison, never worked in the prison, and again, hats off to you two ladies. Um, but I always can have had this thought of a person that's in prison dreams about their freedom, right? They dream about the freedom,
Hmm,
and that
hmm.
pretty much gets them through. But they never understand what living in that freedom looks like, right?
Sure,
Because they only have the perspective of being in prison, right?
sure.
Or the things that led up to get them into prison. And if you leave it and you don't want to come back to prison, you dream about it, but you don't know what that is. And so yes, it's a little weird. I'm always, like, wait a minute, there's no walls here. Um, but it's a grounding too. It's a
Hmm.
grounding because this is where you're supposed to be, right?
Sure.
So even if that little anxiety comes up, oh, how I'm gonna pay the rent this month, that kind of thing. Even when that comes up, it's not enough to drive me back to even definitely not that job, but to a job, because I know that God has called me out of that.
For a time such as this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And how about you, Miss Ladies? Because
I'm
you
just,
just got out here. You just got out here. You're getting your sea legs together.
I'm getting my sea legs together. My experience was a little different. I've always been at work. I worked since I was 12 years old,
Yeah.
ran my own
Hmm.
business. So I have been up and down as far as leaving jobs and coming back, but it was always my choice.
Yeah.
Hmm.
This was not my choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I called it an unplanned sabbatical. It was a
Yeah.
God said, sit yourself down
You did
sabbatical.
say that.
I was legally blind a year ago. Blind. I was diagnosed with a rare disease. Uh, Sorry, we have a puppy. A rare disease called Meniere's disease. So my balance was off. I didn't even know what was going on. But anyways, I ended up losing my job due to that, starting fresh. So it was been a little different. I felt like somebody threw me out of a moving car for a long time.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
As my body began to heal, my heart began to heal, my mind, my spirit, because I had never been without a job in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not when it wasn't my
Yeah.
choice. So I had to learn that. I know I'm smart. I know I can do a lot of things, but like I said, if I did not have the divine circle,
Mm-hmm.
if I didn't know who I was as a person,
Mm-hmm.
if I didn't do during that time of being down, the mental health healing I needed to do.
Right.
Instead
And
of
and
doing that, right, I had to really work towards that. And I want to go back to what we talked about showing up. Like you said, one person on your job and you're another person at home.
yeah.
And you're gonna stay. You ever see people that don't ever want to leave the job?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's because that's their happy spot. That's where they have
Yeah.
power.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they feel heard and understood.
Right.
I
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And then people who go home may not feel the same way. For me, I had to have balance. And my job was out of control, trying to keep my house in balance. And you know what? You end up short in every relationship in your life.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Your romantic relationships, your interpersonal relationships, your business relationships, and the one with yourself.
Right.
So I'm
For
still
sure.
healing, but I'm ready because I've worked in mental health.
Mm-hmm.
I've done every type of job. So now my new job is learning how not to have to do a job that
Yeah.
I don't want to do.
Love it.
Right.
Ain't
So
that wonderful? That
Well,
is a
now the
wonderful
thing about
thing.
it is, like you said, when you retire and you make the plan to retire, and Geisha could tell you this, I planned 10 years out
Mm-hmm.
what my retirement was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
10 years. 10 years.
Yeah.
They said have a 10-year plan. I told them I already got it.
Yeah.
I planned 10 years out. I mean, I had worked there 15 years at that point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this 25 and I'm out of here. I'm
Right.
not giving them a day over 25.
Mm-hmm.
You better
The day
believe
that
it.
I realized that it no longer concerned me, other than the
Hmm.
ups and the downs and everything else, was a day that someone came to me and told me their concern was about something minuscule, something that as a supervisor I shouldn't even been involved in.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody knew my disposition, everybody knew my attitude. I did not change my attitude
Oh
and my
Lord.
disposition. But the thing about it was that everybody came to the defense of this person to tell me don't crucify them
Mm-hmm.
for asking me daily about this situation, that I was saying I am not injecting myself into this nonsense.
And
Yeah.
don't nobody care.
Mm-hmm.
And
That
I'm
was
not.
personal. My bad. My bad. That
Yeah,
was a
I was
person.
I was not getting I was not getting involved in what I saw as nonsense. And then the my supervisor simply said to me, "Well, you do realize that when you leave this job, if you ever come back,
Not gonna.
you're gonna have to go to the range before
Mm-hmm.
you can get back on the job."
Mm-hmm.
Now, for 25 years, I have been passing the range, so that ain't a threat,
Yeah.
you know. But the threat was because he was a man
Mm-hmm.
and he felt intimidated because I said, I'm not getting involved in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not untangling it, because you know what we do as women. We
Mm-hmm.
untangle stuff for everybody else.
Yeah.
That's when I realized I was evolving, because I no longer put myself in to a situation where I could have very well untangled it. I'm not untangling this.
Yeah.
I'm not feeding into, and I mean, it went as far as a conversation, to an email to a supervisor, to an email to that supervisor's supervisor. And everybody was calling me on the phone saying, why you won't take care of this? No, I'm out of here. Mentally, I was gone.
Yeah.
And I believe that that's a part of self-care.
Mm-hmm.
That mentally, we got to get it up here. That mentally, you are not going to invade my peace. And my peace was, I got 18 days and count.
Yeah.
And you're not going to use these 18 days to get me involved in something that y'all can handle. It wasn't anything major. This was a test to see if I was going to do the motherly thing,
Right.
the womanly thing on the job, and take care of it. I was already gone. I was already done. My mind was already, hey, I'm packing my stuff. I'm leaving New Jersey. I'm out of here.
I emotionally check out of places years before I leave
I was
anyway.
gone.
And that's the one thing that Nan knows about me. When she talks,
Emotionally, I was
I've been telling her for like what, 10 years now, 10, 15 years. I've been going. I've been gone.
Yeah.
I've been gone.
And not only that, I don't have a problem. And that's why I said removing the blindfold. I don't have a problem revealing to you why.
Yeah.
But the why may hurt you. It's not going to hurt me.
Right.
But it's going to hurt you for me to tell you, as I did in the email. That supervisor puts on his uniform just like I do. Give him the same problem. He'll handle it. Boom.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
I gotta say that I told somebody today I don't care enough. And so
I gotta stop.
I told somebody today that the reason why I don't get involved is because first I gotta care. And I gotta care about what you got going on more than I care about me. And that's gonna be a real problem for you because I love me. Okay. I am number one after God. It's me. Okay. And I'm selfish with mine. So
we have a question that's been thrown up. Okay. I've been monitoring the questions and everything and answering the questions. But this one I want to hear what everybody has to say. What if your job has no stress?
I like to add that.
Okay. Jobs always have stress. That's why it's called work.
There's different types of stress. Because I was listening to you ladies talk. I worked as a DIFUS worker. I'm from New Jersey. That's the last real job I had where I worked for somebody else. I was blessed after 30 something years old to work for myself. I loved my job. I never even thought of retiring. I really never thought of retiring. But life will retire you. Situations, they come along. But I really never thought of retiring. I was blessed with the opportunity to do what I love. I was traveling. I was, making my own hours. I never punched anybody else's clock. The last 7 years, life changed, and I suddenly I had to work for somebody else, corporate America. I never wanted to work. I was not that kind of girl.
Yeah.
I do things that I couldn't comply. So I had to learn why does God have me here? Working for somebody else. I have to show up on their time. I have to deal with different personalities. I've always surrounded myself in a peaceful environment. When I opened my first business, I painted my office purple because I wanted to.
Amen.
I had flowers. I'm dramatic. I'm extra. I mean, it's got to be the whole environment. You walked in, you smelled chamomile, and I did that.
Right. Well, I think one of the things one of the things that's not understood is that, like you said, you were in an environment that you enjoyed.
Exactly.
But
and that you also created.
Right.
However, work is always there's stress in work, period.
But that's where my question is.
It's just on how it shows up.
Even in that environment.
And how you manage it.
Even in that environment, there's days in that type of environment where something comes across your desk that should have been handled, could have been handled, wanted to be handled, didn't get handled on time, didn't do whatever. And even if it's momentary, there's stress.
And you know, it was my stress. You're right, though. You're absolutely right. But it was my stress, and it felt a little different, you know?
Right.
And
I
the
would
other thing is
that to see if we could say, if there's no stress, where is the value in you being on that job, right? Because even, you know, if you're there and you're trying to make a decision to not be there, it's what's the value that you're doing, the job that you're doing, or the organization, or the purpose for you being there. What's your why for being there?
My
I just think
why,
every problem is
I
not
do
stress.
crossing. So I do traffic control, right? Which is a glorified crossing guard, right? You want to know what my why is? I show up every day to be outstanding because I want to do something that contributes, but I don't want to do something that's peoply.
Right.
Okay. So I'm there with myself. So I'm on that corner by myself. I don't have to talk to anyone. And I'm always smiling. And what drove me with that job is that I'm at peace. I do gospel in the morning and R&B/club in the afternoon. Okay. That's in my ears. Don't worry about it. You'll figure it out later. But I be singing. I'm live on stage. So what happens is the people that told me, but you're always smiling, even in the rain. I said, well, why not?
Right. Yeah.
And not only that, the other
And
thing
one of them said that it helps them get through the day. They know that regardless to what I'm doing, what they going through, when they get to that corner, I'm gonna say hello. And I'm gonna smile and wave at them. And for me, I'm like, oh wow, that's great because I'm here to get my couple of coins. I'm listening to my music. Y'all go, stop, go, stop, go. Okay. And then I'm gonna go home and mind my business. But I'm contributing.
And not only that, the thing is, one of the people online said that, you know, well, if you have your own business and you enjoy what you do, you don't have the stressors. But we have to realize that we cause stress for ourselves. Because then we overwork, we overdo.
Sure.
We
you have your own business, you're going to work 10 times harder.
We're running into being over complimented, over. We want to make sure everything is in place, and that itself brings stress. Sometimes it's not so much the job. It's the internal thing that we take on. And if you say, okay, well, I love what I do. I don't have to worry about working late. I don't have to worry about coming in late. I don't have to I sign in for myself. I do everything. I enjoy being there. I don't want to be anywhere else. This is my life. I love doing what I do. Well, there's something else in your life that's a stressor. No one lives without a stress point. No one lives without having stress. And the thing about it is, what most people don't understand, there is two types of stress. You have de-stress and you have eustress. Eustress is good stress. That's when you're excited about it. You want to be about it. But that same stress could give you the same heart attack.
For me, every problem is not stressful. I mean, certain jobs, you're going to have situations. You're going to have problems.
And the thing is that you could have that good stress and work yourself too much. Because you're happy. So even being in that job that you love, and I don't want to be home and I don't want to be around a whole lot of other stuff.
Balance.
You know, you still need that time.
You need balance
to be balanced and be
everybody knows
where
the
you're
funniest
not
thing ever is that my nap time is serious, right? So we know, no, it's serious. It's serious. So I have an early morning nap, right? A night. Okay, around about 11. If you catch me around 11-ish, right? I'm not gonna be able to talk to you because I'm preparing to take a nap. Okay. Get me around 1. Because all that time in between there, I'm
Mhm.
unavailable. I
Yeah.
don't care if I don't take a nap. You need
Mhm.
to know that that is my time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be unavailable unless you're
Mhm.
having a major emergency, and then I need to think about if your emergency is my emergency
Yeah.
because it is my nap time. Okay, and so we we all have to have, like, you have to have
You have to have that
real
rebound
boundaries.
where you
And
come down.
everybody that know me know, I if they get ready to call me and they look at the phone, oh man, she taking a nap. My kids know that it is nap time.
Exactly. Exactly.
Everybody knows.
Here's the point that we all want to make, and we all want our listeners to go away with, because we're well over our hour. But here's the point that we really want to make, is no matter what type of environment you're in,
Mhm.
personal environment or your professional environment, you have to think about stability.
Mhm.
And if you don't have what I call all the legs of your stability, you got madness.
Mhm.
And that's why I
Yeah.
wrote my book, Managing Your Madness.
Mhm.
Because the
Right.
thing about it is, if you do not manage that madness
Mhm.
and be deliberate about redirection,
Yeah.
Yes.
you're
And
going to fall.
honest.
You're going to fall. The
Yeah.
thing about it is that you have to understand that in balancing the madness, no matter how it comes, you could say, I got the easiest job in the world. You could say, I got the
Mhm.
best kids in the world. I got the greatest husband in the world. I got
Stuff
the
is coming.
best health in the world. Hold on,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
Because I did not have anything other than a cold for 25 years of work. And when I said I retired, my doctor said, you have stage 4 cancer.
Mhm.
My job was not hard. I
Mhm.
did my job. I was perfect at my job as
Mhm.
far as I was concerned. As
Yeah.
far as
Mhm.
Geisha was concerned too, she better tell the truth. But the thing about it is, I understood that there has to be some balance.
Mhm.
And this is what I want to leave everybody with, the points of balance. Okay. Um, it has nothing to do with the people that you're with.
Mhm.
Right.
It has nothing to do with the people that surround you. Has nothing to do with people you know or don't know or going to meet
Mhm.
or going to come in contact with. Your stability depends solely on you.
For sure.
There's 4 legs to a chair.
Mhm.
And if everybody is sitting, you can understand this. There's 4 legs to a chair, and the ladies here know this story. I tell it all the time. I speak about it on stage, and the audience goes into a whole frenzy when I get done with it because they don't know what to do. So I'm going to say it to the audience. You got 4 legs on a chair. One leg is your mental stability. One leg is your emotional stability. One leg is your physical stability. And
Mhm.
one leg is your spiritual stability. I don't care who you are, where you work, when you grew up, what era you lived in. You could be a Gen X or you could be a baby boomer. I don't care who you are, but those 4 legs exist in your life.
Mhm.
All I want you to do is give me one leg. You can choose any of them. You can't live without it because you're going to cause a problem with the other 3. If you give
For sure.
me your mental leg, you're not going to be able to operate any of the 3.
Mhm.
If you give me your physical leg, until it heals, everything is devoted to it healing.
Mhm.
If you give me your emotional leg, you're broke down, you ain't moving, you ain't doing nothing, you curled up in the bed, you holding on to a blanket, and you hoping you can get through the next day.
Yeah.
And if you give me your spiritual leg, God will not give you guidance. All I want you to do is think about this. I was told I had cancer with a plan. I had done my time.
Mhm.
I'm ready to move on. And I was told, here's your stability. It took my emotional, it took my spiritual, it took my physical, it took my mental. Yet here I am because I say I didn't retire to cancer.
That's right.
You have to have a foundation in your life
Yeah.
that
Sure.
says, I have self care. I'm not depending on what is going to be without depending on myself. I
Very
want to
good.
thank you all for being a part of us tonight, and stay tuned for our next special, because we're going to continue with this wellness thing for the rest of the year and our events and everything else. So stay tuned. Look out for us, please. Thank you so much, ladies, for being our guests.
Thank
I
Yes.
you.
welcome you back all the time, because we are a team of
I,
fighters.
I'm
Thank you
looking
so
forward
much.
to the
Indeed.
journey. I really am. I'm looking
Good
forward.
night.
Me too. Good night. Thank you guys
Yeah.
for being here. Thank you, ladies,
Never
for
say.
your for your presence tonight.